Very good crowd considering the circumstances here at Brookvale tonight. They got a big party going as the Eagles come out to their home crowd. They've braved the weather conditions. They're doing just fine in 93, the Eagles. They've had their turbulence, but Bobby Vautin's got them going great. Let's have a look at the team. Here's the tricolours of Roosters Suburbs coming out. And equally, as we were talking just earlier, tremendous start to the year for Eastern Suburbs. Now let's have a look at that Eagles lineup. Ridge, Stokes, Ryan, Moore, Elsgood, Tuvey in the run-on side, Hasler, Alexander, O'Donnell, Roberts, Jones, Iro and Cunningham. Bob Fulton is now the coach. That man, he might hold the key to the result of this one. Now Eastern Suburbs and their lineup: Silver, Appleby, Ricketson, Orford, Prothero, Hall, Freeman, Salvatore, O'Dwyer, Lowry, Tassel, Casato and Gaffey. A couple of changes there to the Eastern Suburbs side to the one we saw last Friday against South Sydney. Steve Roach is down on the sidelines, dry at the moment.
Going good, mate. How are you? Mate, on a very wet and slippery night here at Brookvale, it'll be the team that controls the football best, and I think Eastern Suburbs will do that better tonight than the Manly Warringah side.
Well, there's been long held a feeling that Manly is not a good wet weather side. Greg McCallum's in charge of this game, incidentally.
Hang on, Ray, what's the ball down there? Is Block a stolen one or just a nostalgia trip?
Well, you never know what the blocker's going to come up with next. He was probably asked for an autograph by some kids and was in the process of doing it when we crossed it. Now, just a slight delay as the fireworks trailers are removed from the field. Friday night football, it's been a tremendous success in 1993. And even with the inclement conditions, this has still attracted a very good crowd. Last weekend's man of the match, Nigel Gaffey, kicks off, and Jeff Tuvey, playing in the headgear, is smothered by the Roosters' defence in the opening tackle. Danny Moore now. O'Donnell at acting half. Well, Jones did not get back and hit that ball up, and as a result, he had to pay the penalty of solid defence, reaching him before the advantage line. Roberts, just outside the quarter. They say he's been in scintillating form. Now Iro. Tony Iro, formerly a wing three-quarter, now permanent resident, it seems, in the forward brigade. The kick of Ridge goes out on the full.
A great chasing there from Eastern Suburbs. Put some pressure on Matthew Ridge. Tried to go for a little bit too much down the short side of the ruck, and now East 30 metres out. Good attacking opportunity from that mistake.
This is Lowry. Out and away from dummy half is Prothero. He's playing on the wing. There was some thought that he would play centres, but Orford is playing centre. And now Jason Tassel, who's been a very strong performer for Eastern Suburbs. They hit the blind side through Salvatore, and he's only 6 metres away from the Manly line. So early on, it's all hands on deck for Manly, and Appleby takes it to within a couple of metres of the line now. 5 gone for the Roosters, and they're going a foot into the air. The entire team really was coming down into the in goal. No semblance of a back line.
They were looking for the grubber along the line. It's the old Jack Gibson ploy. He used to do it at Parramatta and at Cronulla, and they're now doing it at East. The whole line then was looking for the kick, but it was a missed kick. Big duel tonight between Craig Salvatore and the other front rower, Ian Roberts. It is, yeah, from Manly, because they're both vying for spots in the City team and New South Wales sides, and they're both in great form.
Talking of Roberts, here he is now. 25 out from his own line.
That's him there, Fatty, playing the ball.
Ridge Racing the ball down the ground at the sound of the whistle from McCallum. Eastern Suburbs inside the 5.
Interested in the performance of Tony Iro out there as well. Now, in the forwards, it looks like permanently, if we've been critical of him in the past, there's been a lack of involvement. By moving him into the forwards, he's running the decoy there, basically forced him into getting involved in the game. He's certainly got the attributes to be a real handful for this East side.
Now they run decoys to the open side, and Jones it is tackled. They come back open side through Hasler and now Tuvey. Tuvey gets a flat ball onto Iro. Iro pulled down though 41 metres away from the Eastern Suburbs line. Tuvey wrapped up by his opposite number Freeman. O'Donnell, now Hasler. This is Ryan. Chris Ryan and Danny Moore, the centres for Manly. Ridge's bomb coming down on the 20-metre line. Prothero stood his ground. He didn't have any pressure put on him. Incredible, I'm sorry, Peter, incredible the change that this Manly backline has undergone in such a short space of time.
Saw some very good work defensively there from Eastern Suburbs. They'll play an umbrella defence as often as possible against Manly, which means that their outside men will get up as quickly as possible and try and force the Manly players back inside. And they're doing it quite well so far, Steve Roach.
Yeah, they certainly are. I was just watching Jeff Tuvey. Gary Freeman will be a big test for him tonight. He just give him a bit of a clip, and he's still wandering around in back play.
Brendan Hall will take the kick for Lions. Jeff Tuvey looks okay on that shot.
Both Tuvey and Hasler are sporting cuts from last week's tough game against the Gold Coast. They both got, normally they put stitches into those, but these the Manly boys have got staples. That's how tough they are.
Prothero.
If it doesn't rain too much, they might go rusty.
In good form tonight, the boys, early on. Gaffey. Freeman switching from left to right. He picks up Salvatore. He almost got the ball inside to Silver. I'll tell you what, it was 6 points. Silver was through, but Salvatore unable to do anything with it. O'Dwyer throws it out the back door and says, somebody catch this. Silver, 25 metres out from the line. Freeman acting half. Tassel, not Tassel, but Lowry, right on the 20-metre line. Freeman indicates he's going to the air. That's what he's doing. Didn't throw us the dummy with the signal. Up they go, raked down and knocked on, I thought, by Brendan Hall. That's the last, that's the turnover. Tuvey plays it. Ridge is forced a dummy half to pick it up. Bad dummy half work there by Manly.
They do have a lot of success with their kicking game, Eastern Suburbs. A lot of occasions they do go to the air and their kick is very good. On that occasion the ball was knocked back to Brendan Hall, just the reflexes weren't quick enough to pluck the rebound. A great hit once again there from Jason Lowry. Both Lowry and Tassel were excellent in defence against South last week.
91 games these two clubs have played since Manly joined the league in 1947. Manly's won 59, East 30. They've drawn twice, but the record at Brookvale is incredible. Manly 25 to Eastern Suburbs 7. And in the last 6 games, Manly have won 5 of them. East have not won at Brookvale since 1986. Scrum will pack down about 5 metres on the east side of halfway. No score after 6.
You mentioned the importance of Matthew Ridge in this game, Ray, especially the kicking game. And Eastern Suburbs, his first 2 kicks have put tremendous pressure on him. They realise the importance of a good kicking game from Ridge against them. And they're sending 2 and 3 chases through at a time. Maybe an opportunity for the dummy half to get out on the last tackle, with the Eastern Suburbs defence being so enthusiastic to get to that one man.
Appleby proving very hard to pull down. Freeman got out from dummy half. Cunningham made the tackle. Owen apparently has been in great form at the back of the scrum for Manly. And had he not have been in such form, Bobby Fulton wouldn't have had the problem that he did with choosing between Lyons, Hasler and Tuvey.
Well, in the past years, we've seen the scrum-based trio of Hasler at lock with Tuvey and Lyons at half and 5'8", but Cunningham's going so well. Very surprised actually he didn't make the Queensland State of Origin squad.
Freeman. It's a high ball, but Ridge is not under pressure. Brendan Hall puts the first chase on him. That's a great fend by Ridge. Now he promotes it to the right for Moore. Stokes turns it back inside. He had nowhere to go and he picks up Tuvey. He's tackled on his own 30-metre line. O'Donnell, Iro. Good ball work by Manly.
Going a bit further, Paul, then with the selection. Are you surprised that Cliff Lyons is on the bench? Do you think he's better on the bench to start the game as Ryan nearly gets through out wide, or to start the game and go off?
Well, possibly tonight. Bozo's looking at maybe bringing him on as a shock weapon. He played okay last week apparently against the Coast, and Bozo likes the look of Tuvey and Hasler in those positions, and Cliffy will create some havoc when he comes on. He's just looking for a bit more match fitness.
Tuvey prominent there with Iro and now Moore. Neither side able to find an opening in the early exchanges. This is the last, and Manly gets a penalty. Well, that's bad play by Eastern Suburbs, giving a penalty on that last tackle. That's a no-no. No score after 8 minutes in Friday Night Football on the 9 Network. Matthew Ridge finding the line. As we welcome you back. Ian Roberts is brought down. 25 metres out from the Roosters line. Now John Jones. What a season he had in 1992. That's a sloppy play, the ball. O'Donnell did well. He was able to clean it up and they're still able to make some ground. He plays it 11 out from the line. A real chance for Manly. Through Hasler and Tuvey, wide ball. Ridge joined in. Now Moore! Moore! He's big and fast! Well, what a performance, but it's gone forward, the pass.
Oh, sensational play by the Eagles. They had the numbers out wide, a beautiful change of direction. Inside ball there, Moore went steamrolling through. Tuvey drops the ball, line wide open.
Well, not quite. One of the players trailing through recovered, but the referee ruled that it was propelled forward. Manly, that was a 6-pointer. It was a beautiful backline shot. And that big centre, Moore, he went straight and he went hard.
One of the pet plays that we've seen from Manly over the years, especially when Michael O'Connor was in that jersey. Players coming back inside, running the angles, just putting the defence in two minds. And if somebody doesn't read it particularly well, as Eastern Suburbs did on that occasion, straight through.
This is Casado playing it. I was listening to Blocker on radio this afternoon previewing the game. He couldn't quite remember Casado playing forwards. And I can understand that because it's a long time, Steve, but he was an outstanding schoolboy at the back of the scrum. I think he was with Ashcroft High when they won the Cup many years ago.
Well, he's certainly handling it pretty well at the moment. He's made a fair few number of telling tackles, so he's going well at the moment in the second row.
It's a dangerous practice going back into that time tunnel when you've got these guys sitting next to you in the box. Even Don Parrish, they had trouble remembering him the other night.
The referee had no trouble picking that forward pass up. And a mistake that Manly certainly weren't looking to come up with in their own territory, only 30 metres out midfield. Probably the best attacking opportunity from a scrum that you would get. The Eastern Suburbs backline set very deep on both sides. Gaffey picks up, looking to make an extra man.
He does that, Peter. Freeman gives it away. Orford will go in and score. Oh, so easy in the final wash-up. Manly could have been in for 6 up the other end of the park 1 minute ago. And now a simple attacking play. The lock picked it up from the back of the scrum. Freeman, he went left and Orford strolls into a gap.
Yeah, it wasn't good defence here. Owen Cunningham was committed, but Danny Moore should not have come in there. This left them a 2-on-1 situation. Cunningham then had to cover the extra territory, and Orford had too much pace for him. Simple as that.
They put on some very smart plays, Eastern Suburbs, from scrums. They like to get the lock involved, and that's exactly what they did on that occasion with Gaffey getting the ball to Freeman. There's the number 4 going in. Owen Cunningham did have a good shot on Jeff Orford, the try scorer, and even though their defence close into the ruck wasn't that effective, Cunningham, if he'd have come up with that tackle, would have saved the try.
Jeff Orford gets his 5th try of the year. Steve Roach.
That was bad positional play from the Manly side. They had 4 players on the opposite side where Gary Freeman decided to run.
Brendan Hall has got what looks like a simple assignment. He's only got a 44% strike rate, Brendan Hall, but that's nice for him. Straight over the dot. 6 points to 0 in favour of the visiting side from Eastern Suburbs after 13.
Here it is. Here, see now if the number 4 doesn't come in and he hangs out, then Cunningham's got Freeman covered easily. As it was, AJ didn't have enough pace. He probably should have got him anyway. But nice play by Orford and by Freeman, especially at the base of that scrum.
Very strong runner too, Orford, isn't he? Powerful legs. We've said before, he's probably the quickest in the Eastern Suburbs side, but he's got great drive, and it's not the first time he's been able to step out of a defender's tackle, and a defender as good as Owen Cunningham.
It was a tackle really that was made for the lock forward or the tight head second rower. The fact remains that Owen Cunningham has slid off the tackle, so they made up the numbers in time, but the tackle, the execution wasn't there. Gaffey. Hasler in an unfamiliar jumper, 40. O'Dwyer. Freeman, Salvatore. They'll grow in confidence now, these Roosters. They like to lead. O'Dwyer, I tell you what, he's done some good things in the last couple of weeks. We've been watching him, this young kid who basically gave up hope. He went to the country for a stint, and he's come back and picked up a spot in the number 9 for Easts.
He's under a fair bit of pressure too. Wayne Marshall back in the reserve grade side for Eastern Suburbs. Only a couple of weeks ago he was nearly our man of the match in the 10-all draw with North Sydney. So when you've got competition for places like that, it augurs very well for the side and for the club overall. And O'Dwyer's handled the job particularly well, knowing that he's got a player at the calibre of Marshall breathing down his neck.
Des Hasler tries to put on a sprint. Offers the pass out the back. O'Donnell was there to rake it up, but Manly has put it through 4 sets of hands and they've gone nowhere. That is high-risk football. Ridge, Iro, 2V. Now back inside for Ryan. Now there's big New Zealander Iro. Back inside for Elsgood. 10 metres out from the line. Tries to get it away. It's a knock on.
See, they're prepared to throw the ball around the Eagles. 5th tackle that time instead of the kick. They looked to throw it. They had numbers out wide, and there was some great football by them. I thought Iro might have given the ball to Hasler back on the inside. Here they go with the numbers, and Tuvia, a lovely inside ball. And away goes Ryan. Iro now on the inside, they've got Hasler. I thought that was the best option. No one in front of Hasler. Elsgood took it, and it broke down from there. And a very opportune ankle tap there, I think, from Brendan Hall coming across in cover. If he doesn't get an ankle tap, it's try time.
Casado. Keep in mind the Eagles have got Lions on the bench. Arguably their best player. Now, the Roosters throw it around. Brendan Hall plays it back for O'Dwyer to give to Freeman. And onto the right foot, and he puts it down into the corner for Ridge to go back. Out from 10. Uses the angle with Elsgood. He's an elusive runner, this fellow. Jack Elsgood. Ryan. Jones, this is what he does best. Get back, wind up and hit the line. He didn't puncture the line then, but I tell you what, he made them realise that he's not an easy target to stop. Roberts plays it. O'Donnell gives it. Hasler pushes it on. Ridge holds it back. 40 metres out from his own line and then pummeled over by Freeman over the top of Casado. Iro gets a grubbing kick in. I haven't seen that from Tony Iro too much, but I'll tell you what, it's a beauty. Finds the line 25 out. And the referee is ruling that it's been touched, so this may well be a Manly feed. If it's come off an East player, whether he played at it or not, it'll be a Manly feed. Like to be getting a shade of odds against about who's feeding it. Hasler. Won by the Eagles. Off for Tuvey. Bad pass. Ryan ran into Tuvey, so it all went wrong. O'Donnell out and away for Alexander. Interesting story with young Alexander. He was looking for a job. So they got off their tails, the Alexander family, and they wrote letters. One of them to the chief executive at Manly. And Graham Lowe said, let's do something about this lad. Ridge, 20 metres out. OJ, Cunningham, 12 out, 5 gone. Here's an opportunity. Tuvey and Hasler have both gone blindside. Slow dummy half work from O'Donnell, though, I thought. Silver.
Yeah, definitely a breakdown in communication. Desi Hasler's not the man you're looking for on the last tackle. Had a good blindside set up there. They were looking to attack, but the ball went to a stationary Des Hasler, and he put a kick through, which was fairly ineffective and cleaned up easily by Rod Silver. Steve Roach.
Yes, Sterlo, Manly are receiving the ball too far back from the advantage line. That's why they aren't making any inroads into the eastern suburb side at the moment.
Freeman. Not going anywhere. This is their last. Big Salvatore clears it. And he gets a good bounce too. It'll go over the touchline. 38 metres away from the Manly line. My goodness, this crowd built up late. I guess that's explainable with the weather the way it was, but it's built up into very good proportions. I think Stanton was of the opinion that the weather would have reduced his crowd by 50%, but I doubt that, looking at it. Manly again with the ball. Tuvey put to ground there by young Ricketson, I think it is, yes. Jones. That's the way to do it, John. Get it back, wind it up. Who'll ever forget that try he scored at the Gold Coast? Was it last year? Sensational effort. Hasler. Appeals for a penalty. Roberts. I don't think Ian's all that happy with his forward supports. Nobody wanted to run off him. That's his game, Roberts. I'll take it up, but support me. Ridge. Grubbering down inside the 20 for Prothero. Watches it like a hawk before bringing it back. This is Ricketson. They've grounded out now to the 30-metre line. Freeman. Now, this is Tassel. Wearing plenty of gear, Tassel. He's got the headgear. He's got both ankles bandaged. Orford. See Lyons, Cliffy Lyons going down to the bench area, and he's taking the rug off. So it won't be long before Lyons is into the match. Ridge comes off his 10. Dummies to Stokes. Appleby's got a ring on him, though. Got a ring of defence on him. I just saw Vautin go for the microphone. I thought I'd better explain that a bit more fully for you. This is Stokes. There's Lyons getting it ready. Jones.
The question is, with Cliff Lyons warming up, as to what change is going to be made as the ball pops out of Tony Ire's hand, cleaned up by Jason Lowry.
Lowry is only 20 metres away from the line. Prothero. Now they've got it just 10 metres out. Can they score their second try? Eastern Suburbs. Freeman, a short pass. Tassel. He threw it to Brendan Hall. I don't know that Jason Tassel's meant for the half-back jumper or the 5/8 jumper. 22 gone, 6-0 in favour of Eastern Suburbs. (3-2) the scrums to Eastern Suburbs. Hasler. That might have been a let-off there for Manly, Paul.
Well, Manly's nemesis tonight was always going to be their ball control. If they control the ball, I think they can win the match. But at the moment, they're making far too many errors. Here's another one, a very poor play the ball, but referee has seen it differently, and he's got the Eastern Suburbs markers for not standing square on. And a relief for Manly, they get this penalty 30 metres out. There wasn't that much interference, but he's got O'Dwyer for not standing square on and coming round before the ball had been played. They needed this, Manly, didn't they, Reg?
6-0 in favour of Eastern Suburbs. Haven't won here since 1986.
Manly do need to get a roll on here with some of their forwards. They need 1, 2, 3, some quick play of the balls. They need Roberts, Iro and those sort of players hitting the ball at speed and getting over the advantage line. They're not doing it now.
I've got no doubt, Paul, that the man... Oh, great shot front on there by Jason Tassel. Again, Jesse Hasler takes the next play. I think the play of the ball is much slower from Manly than generally from Eastern Suburbs, and that's inhibiting that role that they are looking for.
Here's Roberts doing what he does best. Iro is able to clean it up. Now Lyons is getting ready with Mick Kosef. Tuvey. Tuvey appeals to McCallum for a penalty. Ridge on the last. Goes to the sky, very high. Oh, Rod Silver, that's magnificent. That's good stuff by young Silver.
Sensational take. I do think that the Manly player was offside on the chase. Elsgood didn't take his eyes off the ball, Silver, and climbed high. Great catch.
Freeman got a bad pass. Appleby was able to turn and promote for Orford, but the try scorer Jeff Orford not going anywhere. Appleby had a super first half last week and had a shocker in the second, but he's playing all right again tonight.
Desi Hasler, the man who's been replaced, as loose ball went loose there, but he's still retained possession. Hasler's been replaced by Cliffy Lyons, and Nick Kosef has gone on for Tony Iro.
Freeman clearing. It's a shallow clear really, because Manly have come up with it 35 out from their own line, but by using Stokes instead of taking it back himself, they probably lost 5 metres that they could have had.
The one good thing about the kick, Ray, was it went very high, so it allowed the chasers to get through there. By the time Richard caught the ball, he did have a straight line of Eastern Suburbs defence in front of him. And again there, Jason Tassel coming up with a big shot front on.
Alexander. 7 metres into the opponent's territory, then Cunningham hits it up hard and strong. Casado is able to block it. Played by Cunningham, they use the blind. Tuvey, he decides to go to the air. These conditions are well suited to both the grubber and the high ball. And again, Rod Silver does well.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Manly aim some more bombs at the direction of this man, Michael Appleby. Wasn't a great attempt to take that one, and very fortunate for Eastern Suburbs, the ball bounced back straight into the arms of Rod Silver. It just didn't look that safe under the high ball, and I'm sure that Matthew Ridge, Jeff Tuvey have seen that.
25 minutes of the first half gone. If you've just joined us, 6-0 in favour of Eastern Suburbs. They scored an easy try about 10-15 minutes back. Jeff Orford was the try scorer. He's playing in the centres tonight. This is Ricketson, who plays it back, and it's spun away by O'Dwyer, and it's out with Freeman to kick. And here comes Orford! Orford from nowhere! Oh, Matthew Ridge! That is superb!
Well, the better tackle you won't see this year, I'll give you the tip. Orford came through at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and Ridge hung onto him by a bootlace. A try saver, no doubt about it. Orford's onside by a mile. He showed plenty of speed to get through. And Ridge is flying as well. Orford got the bounce. That's a great tackle.
Well, we talk about his kicking prowess, Matthew Ridge, but his defence and his overall skills in the game are quite outstanding.
He's a class player, Matthew Ridge, and the people at home watching that, especially the youngsters, the beauty of the tackle was that he kept his head down. If you lift your head, you're odds on to miss the tackle, and if Matthew Ridge had missed that one, as they keep the ball alive, Manly to Elsgood, it would have been another try to Jeff Orford, but he kept his head down. And we now see an Eastern Suburbs player pulled out. Is it Craig Salvatore?
Jason Lowry's been pulled out for this tackle, which is made on Elsgood. Went a little bit high over that left touchline.
Let's have a look at it now.
Well,
I'll tell you what,
looked accidental to me.
he's been stiffed by the same
Yeah,
token because he's
didn't
attacked the ball. I
Yeah.
don't think he attacked the head at all.
Get him round the melon, got him round the ball.
Okay, so Manly get the penalty. Roberts leading by example. Way now from Tuvey. Short pass from Alexander for Jones. It was forward. And a scrum is to go down. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, Frank Stokes has left the field for Warringah with a bruised hip, and his replacement is Craig Hancock. He's very fast on the wing for Manly, Craig Hancock.
Freeman using Orford again and then offering his services on the run round. Oh, gee, Orford is not well. He can't play the ball, Jeff Orford. Well, let's have a look at that tackle and see what's happened here with Jeff Orford. He goes in, everything looks okay, and down he goes. So the ball has been played by Eastern Suburbs 5 metres from the point. That's good defence by the Eagles. Appleby. O'Dwyer. Lowry. Hit and spin. Back for Casado. Brushes away from O'Donnell the first time, but wrapped up the second. Now Freeman. Took 3 men to stop Freeman. He was able to get it out the back for O'Dwyer. That could have been danger for Manly.
Sloppy defence there by the Eagles. Freeman should have been controlled. As Silver makes good ground, they're raiding away down the left-hand side through Orford.
Orford's kick into the centre. It's a nasty bounce for Cliff Lyons, but he's equal to it. He has to force it, and it'll be a line drop out to restart.
Gee, that's good play from Eastern Suburbs on the last tackle. Jeff Orford knew that he had to kick. He was covered in defence, stayed alive. Cliff Lyons had a little bit of trouble getting to this ball. That's Casado there right on the spot. If it had gone loose, an Eastern Suburbs player there to capitalise. Lyons did well to be there and to finally ground the ball.
He's having a game tonight, Tony Casado. Already 17 tackles to lead the Eastern Suburbs defence. He's been around in the tack. He's having a very good game.
What, Orford made a rapid recovery. Salvatore squeezes the pass out. Well, McCallum has ruled that it went forward.
And Salvo's very disappointed with himself on the first tackle. It's a no-no, that mistake. Trying to offload with some pressure on him in the tackle. And this is a mistake that Manly were looking for because they are under heaps of pressure there.
Of course, the first representative sides of the season to be announced on Sunday night. And I know, Steve Roach, that you have no doubts that Salvatore will go all the way in the representative arena this year.
Yes, I do, Ray. I'm a big fan of Salvo's. The confrontation we were talking about earlier between Salvatore and Roberts, it doesn't happen because Salvatore attacks it on the fringe of the rucks. They very rarely come into contact.
Plenty of passing by Manly, and now Tuvey gets it away for the big centre Moore. He's tackled 5 metres short of the halfway. Roberts.
Came together there okay, and just back to Craig Salvatore. I don't think there's a better running forward on the blind side of a ruck in the competition at the moment. He really attacks there well. With great hands from Cliff Lyons and keeps the ball back alive with a pass inside Manly. Jones.
Tuvey. Alexander handles his second time. Now Cunningham. Back and away for Lyons. Lyons to the 30. Now Kosef. Hancock. He's got one to beat. 10 metres out from the line. Great shot by Manly in attack. 5 gone. Lyons holds it back. Tuvey puts it down. Freeman picks it up.
Oh, not since the days of Paul Vautin have we seen Manly attack as fluent as that. And if they'd have scored a try, it would have been the best you've seen in many seasons. Great work from Cliff Lyons initially to pick the ball up, and then it's just what we expect from Manly sides, keeping the ball alive. Owen Cunningham involved. The tackle not putting him to deck. Lyons again throws the dummy. More into space now. In fact, it's Kosef. The ball back inside to Hancock. And finally comes to ground. Beautiful play, especially in these conditions.
This is the last for Eastern Suburbs. Freeman, he sees the full-back is deep, gets the lovely bounce, now to Silva. 4 Manly players are chasing. Silva, 10 metres out, gets a pass away. Casado, he dives on it, that's the turnover.
This is a game, isn't it? There you've got East in their own 20 metre zone trying something different, the little kick, and away they went. This is great football, what football's all about, and the crowd love it.
Played by Ryan. Now Moore. The centre's trying to get it out. O'Donnell uses Alexander. Oh, that was a good tackle by Lowry. But I tell you what, I give full marks to the ball carrier, Alexander. He took it up. Now Lyons throws the dummy. Pirouettes out of the tackle. Gives it for Tuvey. Promotes it for Ryan. Ryan's 45 out from his line. Lyons. Ridge. Alexander. Away. Tuvey. Roberts. Back. Tuvey. Scoops out the back. Cunningham. Cunningham to the halfway line. Well, the crowd loves this sort of football. 5 gone for the Eagles. Through Jones for Ridge. He puts the grubber through. He'll get the regather. Keeps it on the foot. Dives on the ball. Referee says 6 more. Lyons. Roberts. Roberts is 25 out. Gets it away for Alexander. He's inside the 20. Superb stuff here. O'Donnell. Knocked down by East, I thought. Tuvey. If it was, he didn't restart the tackle count. O'Donnell. 41 is Kosef. 11 out from the line now. East leading by 6-0. Drawing up to the half-time break. Lyons holds it back. Ridge tried to go through the gap. 5 gone for the Eagles. Now it's with Lyons. O'Donnell. He puts it in the air. Chance here. Oh, up above the pack went the Manly player Moore. But it'll be, I think, a line dropout. No, 22 metres, sorry.
The game flowing from end to end. A good kick there from O'Donnell. Put a lot of pressure on Silva. Flying high was Moore. Bounced off Silva's shoulder. Fortunately, Luke Ricketson was there. Great support play from Manly, but Eastern Suburbs will eventually realise that with Cliff Lyons, you must put him on the ground. No dummies. Play what's in front of you. And with Lyons, it's even more important. He will hurt you badly.
Jason Lowry has come off for Eastern Suburbs. I think he might be a victim of the blood bin. Steve Roach, this has been good stuff.
Oh, certainly has. This is entertaining football. This is what crowds come to watch. Manly, since Cliff Lyons has come on, have grown a second gear.
Here's the line dropper.
Well, let's give the Eastern Suburbs defence some credit. You know, they're tackling like demons, Manly throwing everything at them. But the East defence so far has held on.
Jones back and at him. Roosters waiting for him on the 30-metre line. O'Donnell gives it away for this youngster, Kosef. Tackled 20 metres out. Very close to the break. Tuvey thought, well, it's time. The gap closed. A couple of East forwards are very slow getting back into the line. Here's Roberts. Roberts stands. They shut down the ball. 15 out from the line now.
Not a lot of defence out there for Eastern Suburbs wide. Lyons is going that way.
Tuvey's there. Ridge joins in. That was a valuable tackle. Let's name it. Luke Ricketson, ball and all stuff. Tuvey away for Lyons. A player came out of the line. 2 came out of the line. Roberts runs the angle and Hancock is tackled. Gets it away. Lyons back inside and the Rooster has got the ball.
Well, great work from Eastern Suburbs again there. We thought that Jeff Orford had made a mistake by rushing up, but his players around him in defence made up for that very, very nicely. There was good communication. They told each other who had to get what Manly player. Ian Roberts was well taken, kept the ball alive. They've done a remarkable job, East, in the last 12, 18 tackles. With under 5 to go to half-time, it'll be a big effort for them to go in leading 6-0.
East have got that replacement out there in 53. Is that Ward or James Smith it is? James Smith on for for Lowry. O'Dwyer clears. And Ridge carries it back on the first tackle to be only 42 metres away from the east line. Dummy half Kosef, wide for Tuvey, promoted for Lyons and turned inside for O'Donnell. No gain in ground. Now Lyons gives it to Kosef. Stands, pushes off one, back for Ridge. Ridge tries to fend away but is unsuccessful. No gain in ground still, so the East defence has been solid. Roberts almost galloped into a hole. Tuvey away. Lyons kicks. Was he taken late, Lyons? Referee says no, play on. Will there be a report from the touch judge? I can't see 1/4 coming. Eastern Suburbs bring it away. 15 out from their own. Prothero. Kosef and O'Donnell make the tackle. Gaffey. Paul Vautin, of course, you gave service to both these clubs. And I guess they're not the easiest matches for you to watch when it comes down to the word loyalty.
Oh, of course, I had 11 years at Manly and 2 at East, but yeah, I've got a lot of friends at both clubs. And this is one of the best games I've seen for a long time. Lots of free-flowing footy, and I'm really enjoying the spectacle.
You certainly are. You've said practically nothing else good. You are getting paid to sit there, you know. You could do something. Alexander. You can barrack if you want to. Roberts. Never mind. It is a very exciting game of rugby league to watch. Lyons puts Tuvey into a gap, over the 40, over the 30, and I thought we might have been seeing a similar try to last year unfolding. Lyons back for Cunningham. Now Ridge. All the personality players have handled. Lyons, 12 metres out from the line. Eastern Suburbs are light on the right. They go back to the centre, Manly.
Well, the ball's got to come right. They've got 5 on 3 out here.
Kosef will play it. The ball was too slow. Lyons, Tuvey, Roberts, Hancock, back inside. Moore, Hancock, can't handle. And the Roosters come away with the ball. How many chances Manly had in the first half. That'll be their last. There's the siren. Wow. I don't know who's the more exhausted here, them or the commentator. But I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been good stuff on Friday Night Football. Eastern Suburbs leading Manly 6 points to 0. 40 exciting minutes of rugby league. The Eagles come back now for the second half, trailing by 6 points to 0. But there were some signs there coming to the end of that first half, Paul Vautin, that must have been, well, ominous for coach Mark Murray at Eastern Suburbs.
Mark Murray would be ecstatic with his defence. It's been great. Manly have had some chances. Bozo wouldn't be happy with the fact they haven't put points on the board as yet. But I think if we go to the stats now, we'll just see how much ball Manly have had.
We'll just pick those up in a moment, Paul. Well, there they are for you now, mate.
Just see there the amount of tackles that East have had to make, 121. Tony Castado's made 22 of them. He's had a big first half. Manly 54% of possession. And down the bottom there, handling errors. Manly have made 9 as compared to Eastern Suburbs 2. And as I said before, that was always going to be Manly's nemesis on a night like tonight, where the ball's a little bit slippery, pushing the pass. I think if they can control the ball well in this second half, they will win, but they'll have to overcome a very determined Eastern Suburbs side.
It was probably the factor, Paul, that was overlooked as we delighted in the movement of the ball through the hands. I'm talking about the Eastern Suburbs defence. Well, this crowd has really been entertained. What the league has done on Friday nights, it's turned it into be a real entertainment family night, and they've had a couple of young groups here singing. They've been outstanding. The cheer girls have been here. It's really a family night out.
I think it's great too, and that the league decides to bring a game to a club that doesn't have its own lights, you know, that doesn't get Friday night football. In the Manly area, we've had about 3 Friday night football games in 2 or 3 years, and you can see by the crowd here they do enjoy it, and it's been a fine game. It's been worth bringing it here. I'd like to see the league continue that policy.
Here's Gaffey now. Away into the chest of Freeman, but they lost a bit of ground there. Silver got his kick in. Tuvey knocked him over, but it wasn't late according to McCallum. And this is Hancock on that far wing. Just double checking that he was still on the field. He is, and now it's come away for Ryan. Turning it in for Ellsgood. 5 metres into East territory. Ryan a dummy half. O'Donnell. Driving defence. Relentless defence from Eastern Suburbs. Tuvey at acting half. Alexander. They're on the Eastern Suburbs 40-metre line. Early stages, second half, Kosef. Now they're midway between that 20-metre line and the halfway. This is the last. Tuvey pushes it right for Lyons. Cut out pass for Ridge out wide, but they read that well, Eastern Suburbs. Orford making the tackle. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, well, in the Manly room, Bobby Fulton was pretty happy, but he said, look, no good passing the ball around to no one making yards going forward. And I mean, it's good for the crowd and it looks pretty, but don't do it. Just, they've got to score next. He wants his side to go forward, and he also wants his side not to stand off Gary Freeman. In the East room, they were very happy with their first half performance. Just a couple of mistakes with controlling the football. They're absolutely wrapped in the defence to keep Manly out, and they were unlucky not to score a couple of tries. So it should be a good second half.
Well, you tipped Eastern Suburbs to win. Do you want to change?
No. I'll stick with Eastern Suburbs.
Okay.
They're making the least mistakes.
Manly coming up with the scrum win. Lions. Oh, nice play. Ryan. 35 out from the line. They've got these two big centres. They get them back, one or the other, and they hit it up straight and hard. Very effective play. O'Donnell away out the back for Lions. Across for Tuvey, shows it. Now Ridge joins the back line. But this Eastern Suburbs defence was always somebody there with a grass-cutting tackle. Cunningham to play it. O'Donnell. Tuvey. Lyons. Traffic out wide. Lyons unable to get it away. Hasler still on the bench. Tuvey back for Ridge. Ridge decides to put it in the air. He ran to the defence line. Silver again! Ah, good stuff from Rod Silver here tonight.
And a real lesson on how to take the high ball. Get a running leap at it so that you're not standing there without momentum. Going forward, never taking his eye off the ball, and really got in good position to take that. Big hit on Casado there. Roberts
pulled off a corker. And he got an assist from young Alexander.
Hands away, Manly. Hands off, Marcus.
It was a beauty. Casado knows he's been tackled too, just looking at his eyes through the glasses. Play by Ricketson. O'Dwyer puts it in the air. There's no pressure here for Matthew Ridge. Looks at his winger, but the defence is on him. 3 of them, in fact.
I had a lot of praise for the kicking game in the first half from Eastern Suburbs, but I don't know whether O'Dwyer is the man to be kicking out of dummy half. In these conditions, you've got to drive the ball deep, play down on your opponent's try line. And O'Dwyer really only found 30 metres there with a high kick. That'll enable his chasers to get there. But it has turned over the ball in pretty good attacking position, and John Jones taking full advantage of that.
They're good yards. O'Donnell lets one runner go. Then Lyons. He chips with the fullback back deep, looking for his own man. He finds a Cunningham. Cunningham tackle, 5 gone. 28 out from the line. Eastern Suburbs, they're still getting back. Lyons, he pushes Roberts down inside the 20. Roberts goes for the grub up. But back there reading the play was Prothero.
Yeah, not a bad option there. Beautiful inside pass to Roberts, but I don't think he was the man to be putting grubbers through. A very ordinary kick on the end of that. If the kick goes deeper, there's a chance to score maybe. Into some space there, Roberts. A good option, but just a bad kick.
But Lyons initially read that play so well. He saw the fullback deep, put the little chip over. Not for himself, but for a player that he'd already oiled him up. He said, this is for you. Freeman now. Ridge. Elsgood. Gee, there's some desperate stuff there from the Roosters. Brendan Hall that time. Tuvey using Ryan. Chris Ryan. Where they find these kids, Paul? Chris Ryan, Danny Moore, Jack Elsgood.
Well, Chris Ryan and Elsgood are local juniors who have come through in Bob Fulton's development scheme, and Danny Moore's actually a lock forward who they brought down from Queensland as a youngster a couple of years ago. He's taken time to develop, but now he's looks to have found a niche in the centres.
Right. David O'Donnell plays it. Cunningham goes right for Lyons. There's the little kick again. Appleby, they tested him there. Well, Sterlo forecast that might be on. Appleby was able to handle that time. Silver.
Just had a look through the statistics up here again after watching the opening of this second half, Ray, and the work rate of Tony Casado is good ball from Freeman there. Puts Jason Tassel halfway through a hole. He's been out there, 45 minutes, and he's come up with 27 tackles, and he's run the football as well. It's been an outstanding performance in just over one half of football from Casado coming into the side for an injured player.
Gaffey. Smith a dummy half, using Salvatore's kicking game this time. And Big Sal has put it out on the full. Oh boy. 6-0 in favour of the Roosters, 46 gone. Welcome back. We're at Brookvale Oval, and there's a big crowd on hand here. I reckon it would have been 5,000 bigger had it not been an inclement night, but it is still a very big Friday night football crowd. Look at them, they're jammed into certain areas. Everybody tried to get a seat under cover. It wasn't possible as Jones plays it. O'Donnell gives it. Tuvey promotes. Now Roberts struggles to get free, but O'Dwyer makes the tackle. Salvatore comes over the top and ridges the dummy half away for Tuvey. Now Lyons. Jones running off his hip, but great defence again. Ricketson has been prominent, and there's that man Casado dragging off him. Now Lyons again peppers them with the kick. Prothero is there this time, wrapped up by Alexander and by Kosef.
There's never been a kick that's gone too high, Ray, and the last two kicks from Manly just haven't been the right height for them to allow the players to get through on the chase sufficiently. I've been very impressed with the Eastern Suburbs communication. We've seen Prothero clean up a grubber from Ian Roberts on that occasion. Good talk again from Prothero and Silver, so they weren't disputing the same ball. Really have a lot of confidence in each other out there.
You people that have bet on Footy Tab and taken East to win by 6-0. And that is the score at the moment.
Here we go, Fatty.
If it stays the same, $869.60 is what you can expect. Ridge comes back off his 10-metre line. Ricketson goes around the chest and pummels him down to the ground. His defence is strong, Luke Ricketson. East worked for the mistake and they get it. McCallum says play on. Jones. Jones away from the 30 and the 40. Over the halfway. Desperate tackle by Gaffey. Roberts. Tuvey. Lyons. Dummies for Cunningham. Now he finds more.
Had the man unmarked on the outside and didn't give it. Could have been a try for the Eagles.
Away. Again for Lyons. My goodness, Lyons is in everything. Flicks the pass out the back. It wasn't to play the ball. It didn't have to be. Roberts back and away. This is Alexander. He's up to the 20-metre line. 5 gone.
Numbers to the left here. Cliffy Lyons calling it from Tuvey. They'll run it.
Now they come to the 20. Lyons for Ridge. Ridge for Ryan. Can he get it away? No! Another try was there for Manly. Another try opportunity, I should say.
Take nothing away from the defence once again. The last tackle option. But a beautiful tackle from Rod Silver. Here we see Matthew Ridge involved. Ryan, the step inside. He's got a man outside if he throws it. It's try time to Elsgood. A mistake made.
It was only catch and pass, you know, and he's in the corner.
Well, they might have another opportunity here, Paul.
Yeah, big mistake for me. It's a big play now coming up for Manly. But look, these two centres that Manly have got, Ryan and Moore, they're good young kids, but you can see their inexperience coming out. 2 catch and pass situations, they failed on both occasions.
And the replacement player, Colin Ward, in 54, was the man who made the mistake for Eastern Suburbs. Tuvey to feed, 12 out.
5-4 the scrums to Manly. Now 6-4. This is Cliff Lyons. And more Ryan it is that puts it down on the first tackle. Cliffy Lyons walks away. His eyes went towards the heavens, as if to say, oh no. Oh no. The youngster knows the mistake and the gravity of it. This bloke, he's working overtime at the moment, Cliffy. I've seen a lot of Cliffy Lyons, but I've never seen him working as hard as this.
Hasn't he weaved some magic out there tonight?
Oh, he can play. He can play all right. Gaffing. But still the Roosters, they refuse to let Manly through. Appleby squirts it out the back. Ward trundles it up the ground towards the 40-metre line. Casado. Kosef was around the legs. O'Dwyer goes for a dummy half scoop. It's tackled right on the halfway mark. And now with Freeman. Salvatore. Freeman gets a bad punch. Put in the air by Smith. It's straight up and down. No frills on it. Manly come away with it. Elsgood said, I'll run around you, so he gave 3 metres to go forward 5. And now we're back Manly's end of the ground. One gets the feeling we'll be back down the other end very shortly. They've had good territory. And one thing's for sure, East won't need any tackling practice or training next week.
Well, at the moment they've done 30-odd tackles more, which is 5 or 6 sets of extra tackles they've been forced to make, and that's the kind of workload that does tell late in the game.
Casado is hurt, clutching at his head. Stagger's back into position. He's taken a few very bad shots to the head, but he looks okay now. Ridge punching it low. Prothero goes back with some urgency, back to his 20. Tuvey comes down the ground, and with Big Moore, they put him down. Ricketson. Manly's Tony Iro getting set to come back on. He's done that, and John Jones has come off. Still, Bob Fulton hasn't injected Des Hasler back into the game. Casado.
He did very well in his 50 minutes out there, John Jones. It was actually his first run on in the number 11 jumper this year. He's been on the bench most of the year through a lack of fitness, but he did very well.
I thought Casado dropped that ball getting up to play.
No doubt in the world, Ray. It was a let off there. He did the smart thing. He didn't go to pick the ball up. He just played it as though he'd put it down on the ground.
It's a funny thing. The rule book says when you're tackled, you will rise immediately and place or drop the ball in front of the foremost foot. So maybe McCallum said, well, he's dropped it. That's fair enough. I don't think so, though, but that's what the book says.
He dropped it from a great height.
I know. Blocker on the sideline.
Yeah, Craig Salvatore, the Eastern Suburbs captain, has left the field, and Jason Laurie has gone back on.
Thank you, Steve. Away from Tuvey for Lyons, catching it in one hand, passing in the other motion. Moore puts his foot down again. My goodness, he's an exciting kid to watch. Now he goes further down the ground. 32 out from the line. 5 tackles gone. They're wide and they're deep. Lions kicks. Appleby Fields with no pressure. Well, that was really an unrehearsed kick by Lions then. He had a tremendous back line. It was ready for made to put the ball through the hands.
Well, they've done 3 or 4 kicks now, the Eagles, that have been nothing kicks really. There's no pressure on Appleby whatsoever and no Manly attackers going through on him.
.54 for Eastern Suburbs is this replacement Colin Ward. And they are with the ball 30 out from their line. James Smith. 15 minutes gone, second half. And this is their last tackle, Eastern Suburbs. They go for the chip. And Chris Ryan, he reads it nicely.
He didn't go for the chip again there, Dwyer. He was looking for the long kick. He shouldn't be the kicker in this side at the moment. I know, as I said earlier, from dummy half, it's a nice tactic. Everybody's on side. They've got to be kicking the ball long.
Roberts plays the ball 38 out. Alexander, he's been a great support for Ian Roberts tonight. Tuvey. Here's Iro. Nothing happening. East defence again, ready and equal. Tuvey through to Lyons. Lyons looks on his inside, but there was no support.
Well, the Manly players let Cliffy down there and they died on the inside. They didn't back him up. They didn't cover any territory, left him one out. But Mark Murray sitting in the stand, the East coach must be very proud of his players. Their defensive effort has been simply brilliant. And to hold out this Manly side, and Manly probably would have scored 3 or 4 tries against any other team, but the East defence has been absolutely great.
Lowry. 40 metres out. Eastern Suburbs leading still by 6 points to 0. The try came, I think it was around about the 15-minute mark. Freeman kicks. Ricketson is chasing. Ridge uses Elsgood and Freeman's able to take him. Elsgood doing well there to retain the ball. I thought he might have been tempted to throw the pass, but it wasn't necessary. Hancock. Roberts. David O'Donnell into acting half again. Alexander. Well, as Eastern Suburbs feel the effect of a huge tackle count, a big assignment in defence, some of these Manly forwards must also be saying to themselves, how many more times have we got to hit this ball up and when are we going to score? Ridge away for Lions to kick. Hasler's coming on for Manly. Silver brings the ball back down the ground for Eastern Suburbs. Wrapped up by Moore. There's Des Hasler in 40. Ricketson, that may have stung him. No, he's all right. Freeman. He's put it down, Freeman. Manly should have this. Well, if they haven't now, they will after the scrum. 6 points to 0 still on Friday Night Football. 58 minutes gone. Welcome back as we go to the sidelines and Steve Roach.
Well, this is a surprising change. Des Hasler's going on for Cliff Lyons, Manly's best attacking player, and they are behind 6 points to 0.
What do you make of that one, Fatty? It is an unusual change. I know that Lyons hasn't played a lot of football this year, but he's a puppeteer out there at the moment. He doesn't have to run that much.
He's doing his own thing and he's being successful at it. He might just have a break probably for 5 or 10 minutes. I think he'll be back on to finish off the game.
Lions working the run around with Ridge, and now back into the centre goes Elsgood. 30 metres out from the line and couldn't get the ball away. Brendan Hall strong in defence. Tuvey gives it to young Kosef. 25 out. This Manly crowd, they want some points. The Roosters, they deny them. Roberts plays at 10 out. Hasler across for Tuvey. Tuvey elects to go himself. Wrapped up by Casato. Lions back on the bench. Ridge. Cunningham. This is the last. Ridge has gone into first receiver. That's him. Rubber kick. Was he taken late? Kicked over the dead ball line, but it's a penalty. Penalty to Manly. Ridge was taken late, according to McCallum.
He's had a good game tonight, Greg McCallum. This is a good decision, I felt, right in front of the sticks. It'll give Manly 2 points as long as they take the kick for goal. There's a bit of indecision there. Looks like they might take a tap. They are.
Ridge out for Tuvey and away for Alexander. He strains for the line, but he's gone over the touchline.
And that was the wrong decision, no doubt about it. Despite the fact that he put them into touch, there was 2 points dead set on offer right in front of the sticks. They took the tap, and some good defence once again. But look, 3 players in that tackle forced Alexander out into touch.
Appleby. I see Casato's come from the field, Steve.
And Jason Tassel, East's best defensive player, back on, but a great effort from Casato.
Smith. Gaffey.
The Eastern Suburbs can't hold on in this game, Ray. They've got to continue to try things. They've got to regather their forces. They're very tired. Kick there from Freeman finds Ridge on the full. I think an extra point would be a godsend for them. If they can get in position for a field goal, it would be an enormous lift for them to be 7 in front. Just that point clear of a converted try.
Tuvey! Again lacking support on the left. It was there on the right, but it was in front of him. Roberts again asked Tuvey to go ahead. Away to Hancock. Hancock gets it out to the right. Played by Chris Ryan. Cunningham. They're inside the 30. O'Donnell at acting half. Roberts to the line. Alexander puts it down. And again the Roosters with 6 tackles and another opportunity to take it deep into Manly territory, but that's what they haven't been doing. They haven't been getting it deep into Manly's area. Field position's been really bad for them. Lowry, not always brought about by their own failings either. Tassel. They're out on the 40-metre line. The kicking game probably has been what has let them down. The long kick, the long driving kick. It hasn't been in evidence. Steve Roach.
You have to give Greg McCallum a rap for this. There hasn't been that many penalties in this game. He's let the game run open and free.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Steve, because these blokes with the whistles, my goodness, they cop plenty from time to time, but this year I don't think it's been too bad. We've seen some great performances. Hasler for Ridge. Ward makes the tackle. He wasn't on the ground, said McCallum. Well, the arm carrying the ball apparently wasn't on the ground. Roberts.
Let's again look for Tony Ire setting himself on the fringe of the ruck or maybe straight up behind the play the ball area. He's a fresh player out there. They'll be looking to get him involved.
Tuvey out wide. Back slammed down by the Eastern Suburbs side. Incidentally, we'll have league tomorrow night for you from the Gold Coast. The home side plays Newcastle. That's tomorrow night on 9. Same rugby league time slot, 8:30 tomorrow night. Cunningham is hurt for Manly. Hasler for Tuvey. Ridge into his back line. Chancy pass. Got away from the defence. Ryan gives it to Hancock. Now it's come back for Iro. Turned back around the corner. Is that Kosef? Now it's Hasler. He lofts it over the top. This is Moore. Now Hasler knocks on.
Well, you have to agree with Steve Roach's assessment at half-time. It's fine to be throwing the ball around for Manly, but you've got to throw the ball to someone in a better position than yourself and going forward. A lot of across-the-field play from Manly, a lot of interchange of passing. We'll probably see 6 or 7 passes thrown here, but we'll only see 3 or 4 yards made. And there's the mistake from Desi, the ball just behind him.
16 minutes of the game remaining. And 6-0 in favour of Eastern Suburbs. Pick the score approximate. Well, it's not approximate, it's definite. 869-60. If it stays that way. And had Manly have taken that shot and it had been 6-2, it would have been 831. Freeman. Tassel. Now, this may have been touched by Manly. McCallum says no. He's ruled the knock on.
And it's East now who are making the mistakes as Salvo looks on. He's not happy about that one, the big front rower and captain of the side. East making mistakes, giving Manly plenty of possession. Luckily for East, their defence is it's forever moving. That's what I like about the East defence. It's never dead on the inside. It's forever moving, coming across, up and in, drifting across the field. And when Manly turn the ball, so far in the second half, when they've turned the ball back inside, East defence has been there to meet them.
Tremendous crowd considering. 14,177. Tuvey gives a wide ball for Ridge. He steps around Brendan Hall, wrapped up by Jeff Orford. There was a good tackle. The ball came out the back though. Hasler goes on. Now it's Tuvey. Tuvey does the dancing, beats Orford. Oh, boy, over the top came Ward. It shook little Jeff Tuvey right up. Cunningham.
Big front on shot there. It's actually Smith that's come up with a big one there, Ray. The replacement players for all sides playing their role out there. The kind of game where you need 7 or 15 players to participate. And on this occasion, Alexander takes the good yards. We've spent the whole second half down this end of the field.
Hasler. Tuvey. Wide for Iro. Gets a pass away, but Big Moore, he can't take it. It was a horror ball.
Once again, though, the Eagles are creating plenty of opportunities. Would have been interesting if Manly could have held on to that ball through Moore. But Iro, he's got to get more involved. He seems to be the linchpin. I think they're missing Cliffy Lyons. No doubt since he's gone off, the Manly attack has lacked a lot of direction.
You've gone white, Fatty. That's not a pretty sight.
Salvatore's back on the ground. That came off Iro. 6 more tackles. Freeman uses Brendan Hall. They have to counter-punch now, Eastern Suburbs. And how many times do you see it in rugby league where a team has taken a battering? They've been under siege, really. They could easily open Manly up and score a try themselves. Orford. Away from O'Dwyer through Freeman to Hall. Castles wide. Inside ball, Ricketson can't handle. Booted through. Hasler leads the race. Runs over the top of the ball. Kicked again by Manly. Hasler's offside. Hasler's offside. Penalty to Eastern Suburbs. But I'm wondering whether Silver got a touch on that ball.
Dead set did, for sure and certain. Didn't he?
Let's have a look at it.
The pass goes astray. Hasler gets the boot to it there. Now he overruns this by trying to tow it again. There's a couple of Eastern Suburbs players there. There goes Prothero, the ball booted.
Oh, Silver's dead set touched the ball.
And he's back on side.
He's touched it 4 times.
He's fair dinkum on side when you look at it that way.
Unbelievable decision there by McCallum, who was only 10 metres away.
Well, let's have a look at it and analyse what McCallum has ruled here. I know we're all bagging him, but maybe he has deemed that when the ball is kicked by Hasler and it's in the possession of Silver, he's ruling that Hasler's inside the 10. That's what he's probably ruled.
I thought there was a push there by a Manly player as well. That may, I didn't see a signal, but take your pick. And as you predicted, Ray, Cliffy Lyons only had a short break. Back on the sidelines.
Well, if Mick Dittman was in the box watching Fatty Vautin ride that last play, he would have been embarrassed.
I wish he was on me. He'd have got me home.
Appleby.
Again, not a pretty sight, Ray.
Not a pretty sight. Freeman goes to the air. Well, Ridge has had no hope with that. Penalty goes to Manly. Matthew Ridge didn't know he had so many enemies.
I don't know whether the Eastern Suburbs players deliberately took him out. They've got their eye on the ball with a little bit of a shove there at the left hand from Jason Tassel. A good decision by the referee. Matthew Ridge finds touch from the penalty kick, 21 metres out from his own line. Been a long time since we've been down this end. And Lions back into the fray.
Just going back to that controversial play, and in fairness to McCallum, I'm sure that's what he's ruled. When the ball was kicked and Hasler was offside, it is his responsibility to stay 10 metres away from the team defending. And you'll find that's what rule he's placed on it. Lions. Ridge! 5 gone. Lions. Freeman takes the kick and Cliffy Lyons puts him on the ground. 9 minutes to go in Friday night football. And a real cliffhanger here at Brookvale in front of 14,000. Gaffey. Tassel almost right through. Appleby's turn. Freeman. Ridge covering ground. And again, Jack Elsgood. Splits through. If he gets into daylight, they won't catch him. TV away for Hasler. Now on for Lions. So Iro's with the ball. Manly have got all their superstars on now. O'Donnell passes and Kosef plays the ball. 42 metres out from his own line. O'Donnell around the corner for Alexander. Hasler. Tuvey. Lyons. Iro ran the decoy inside. Moore is tackled right on the halfway mark. Ridge again. Hasler. O'Donnell. Kosef. That's the ball they wanted. Ryan. Orford takes him. Hancock comes inside. 40 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line. Magnificent defence though by Eastern Suburbs.
And 8 minutes to go on the last tackle. Cliff Lyons looking to run it again, but his supports are much too shallow except for Tony Iro.
Iro passes willy-nilly. Elsgood goes back with it. Hopes for the bounce off his own kick. O'Dwyer cleans up.
You can't speak highly enough of the way Eastern Suburbs have played this game tonight. Manly have thrown everything at them, and they still hang on.
Freeman. Appleby. Struggling down towards the halfway mark. Then he throws the pass, but why? No need to. Manly takes up the attack. Ridge.
Does look like the kind of situation. Manly could score once, they might just score twice.
Kosef, Tuvey, Lyons, holds it back, finds Moore, goes for the runaround. Moore gets into a half gap, comes away from another. Tackle 22 metres out. O'Donnell's the dummy half. Lyons is with the ball. Now Tuvey. Now it goes on. Ridge comes into the back line. Hancock goes for the corner. 5 metres out. Lyons at acting half. Goes himself. 2 metres from the line. Away from Kosef. Hasler! The pass goes forward! The pass goes forward. No try. 6 points to 0 in favour of the Roosters. 5 to go. Welcome back to Brookvale. You've missed absolutely nothing. This is what happened the last time we were with you. Hasler, no doubt about it. I'd love to be able to show you some pictures of this great sea eagle in the box with us tonight. He's exhausted, and I think the barbecue will have to be postponed. Freeman, Gaffey's pass goes loose. Prothero picks it up.
Eastern Suburbs now need to get their speed men, their outside men who haven't had to bear the brunt in defence. Well, there's some defence they've had to brunt, but we need Orford and Prothero in there to take some pressure off the forwards. Ball back to Salvatore in the blind side for the kick. Again finds Ridge on the full, and the raid begins all over.
Ridge, 5 metres on his side of the halfway. I don't think one man, woman or child has left this ground. They are spellbound, mesmerised. In fact, I think from a Manly point of view, horrified that they're not in front. Played by Lyons. O'Donnell turns it back inside. Lyons does likewise. Roberts finds O'Donnell. He's tackled by Tassel. Penalty goes to Manly. 4 minutes to go. Right in front, and they back-chat. That's another 10 metres. Can they force a draw?
I'm surprised they didn't kick for touch there. Could have made another 10 or 15 metres. First tackle, 20 out.
Alexander plays at Tuvey. Comes to the 20-metre zone. But the Roosters, they're there in number. O'Donnell away for Iro. Now for Cliffy Lyons. Stands and gets it away for Hasler. There are numbers on the right. Roberts is with it. Grassing tackle brings him down. That of O'Dwyer. And it's a penalty to Eastern Suburbs. Incorrect play of the ball. Not struck with the foot.
Yeah, big blow to the Eagles here is, although there was a hand in that play of the ball, possibly by Brendan Hall. McCallum saw it the other way. The penalty goes to the Roosters, but Manly, they lose tonight, only got themselves to blame. They've had ample opportunities to score tries.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, they've had all the opportunities in the world, enough to win 4 football matches. And at the end of the day, and I said it to you at half-time, Paul, when you think back on this game, the highlight must have been the Eastern Suburbs defence.
There's no doubt about that. You go a long way to see a game of football where a side has defended as stoutly for so long as this Eastern Suburbs side have.
I've never seen a side dominate as far as possession and territory on the football field is concerned. Manly have played almost 30 minutes of this half in the Eastern Suburbs half, and East have held them out. 4 marks to them.
Tim Russell is on for Eastern Suburbs. Gaffey runs towards the blind side. Pulled down just inside the 30. Appleby comes away. He gets a kick in. Ridge goes across to cover it up. Takes it professionally, almost majestically. Silva and Ridge have been very good at the back of their respective sides tonight. Tuvey almost got knocked over by that pass. It hit him right on the chin. Now Big Moore out from the 20. And forget league tomorrow night on the 9 network. Gold Coast Newcastle at 8:30. That's for Sydney. Check your local guides and other centres. Lyons pushes the pass for Moore. Why wouldn't he, with the clock showing that there's only a minute to go? Iro has to go back and pick it up. Kosef runs it out towards the 30. But Easts, they've been tackling their stomachs out for 79. They're not going to stop tackling now. Kosef.
Getting late in the tackle count now, Ray, and late in the match. Manly may again look to run it on the last tackle. Hasler into first receiver, Lyons outside him. Iro's there as well.
Mitsubishi Motors make the $1,000 available for the man of the match, and it was touched by Gary Freeman. Kicked ahead by Des Hasler. Down there is Hancock. They keep it on the toe. He regathers. No, he doesn't. Now he does. McCallum says he's short.
Changeover. You'd have thought it was 6 again. I thought it was touched by Eastern Suburbs there. But the final tackle means it's passed over to the Roosters. Again, some last gasp stuff there from the Roosters, keeping their line intact.
Appleby is brought down. This is the passage of play. It was kicked on through by Manly. It's all been Manly so far. Did Orford get a touch on it? The siren is gone. The match is over. 6-0. This gallant Eastern Suburbs side has won. They leapfrog Manly on the league ladder. And what a classic game of rugby league. When I say a classic game, it's one that I don't think many people will forget very easily. It was the night Manly had enough opportunities to win 5 football matches. It was the night that Eastern Suburbs produced every bit of guts available. A gutsier performance you won't see in a lot of rugby league watching. 6-0. The try came after 15. Orford scored it. Hall converted. And that's where they pulled the curtain down on the scoring. And then they were locked into a game of defence one end, attack on the other. Thoroughly enjoyable stuff. Manly fans obviously disappointed. Both of these sides, they can hold their heads high, and they both seem semi-final bound, don't they?